Pope Leo XIV appears in public for the first time and is met with the joy of thousands packed into St. Peter's Square. But as the faithful linger to celebrate, inside the Vatican, the new Pope is now facing a unique set of challenges, which come from being both the spiritual leader of the world's 1.4 billion Catholics and the head of a city-state with around 3,000 employees and an annual budget of over $1 billion.
Among Leo's priorities will be choosing the people to lead the various Vatican departments, a process not unlike a prime minister choosing a cabinet. But the tougher item on Leo's agenda will be dealing with the Vatican finances.
Cardinal Angelo Becciu has been sentenced to more than 5 years in prison on several counts of embezzlement.
It's been plagued for years by several scandals that include charges of corruption, money laundering, and mismanagement.
The fall in visitor numbers is compounded by a decrease in donations by the faithful to Peter's pence, an important source of income for the Catholic Church.
The Vatican now has a large annual deficit, mounting debt, and its pension fund is on the verge of insolvency.
So how important is it for the new Pope to get the finances in better shape?
Miles Patinen is a historian of the Catholic Church who teaches at Oxford University.
Clearly, it is important because the finances are in bad shape and deteriorating. And if the Vatican carries on its current trajectory, it will eventually go bust. It needs fixing. Nobody's quite sure how to fix it. But the start of a new Pope's pontificate is surely the moment to do so if it's ever going to happen.
Before he died, Pope Francis tried cutting expenses.
Pope Francis has cut housing perks for Vatican managers and cardinals in order to save the church money.
But those efforts didn't go far enough, and he's left his successor with a problem that demands immediate attention.
And in a sense, he can't start thinking about kind of bigger questions of teaching and policy and the face that he presents to the world until he starts to get a grip on what's going on within his own house.
When it comes to more spiritual matters, Pope Leo is facing a divided church. In the days leading up to the conclave, cardinals were openly feuding about whether to continue with the liberal reforms of Pope Francis.
We want to change the constitution of the church. This is the destruction of the church.
Canadian Cardinal Michael Cherney told the New York Times that the conservative beliefs of some African bishops make him, quote, shudder. Much of the controversy is about Cnids, a series of discussions launched by Pope Francis on hot-button topics like the role of women in the church. And unlike in the past, Francis included ordinary Catholics, not just bishops, in the process.
Synodality is based on the principle that everyone in the church is equal, that the cardinal and the patriarch and the archbishop and me, a simple layperson, can sit at the same table because we share a common dignity.
It is a major innovation in church practice that upset conservatives who saw it as an assault on ancient hierarchies.
I think it's normal that there's always some hesitancy and fear of change. And this challenges a kind of very clerical, hierarchical culture that's been deeply ingrained in the Western Church since the Middle Ages. We've got a lot of baggage to get over here.
Canadian Catholics have their own set of expectations from the new Pope. Many, for instance, believe that if the Church wants to grow in Canada, it still needs to do more to address the legacy of sexual abuse.
I mean, the hordes of people have left.
Gary Warner is chair of Concerned Lay Catholics, a group that provides support to victims of sex abuse in the Church.
So there has been progress, but I don't think that we are at the stage now as yet where we can say that the processes in place are satisfactory.
Warner says that many Canadian Catholics are also hoping the new Pope will continue to support efforts at reconciliation. Pope Francis made a historic visit to Canada in 2022 to apologize for the Church's role in the residential school system. But Warner says reconciliation can't end there.
You do not correct all of the traumatic effects of that, all of the political and social effects of that by simply making statements.
Even though Pope Francis was popular in Canada, churches here still struggle with attendance, and Catholics will be watching to see whether Pope Leo continues on Francis' path or whether he charts a new course to keep the church relevant.